from either Nashville or Texas. I'm not sure where she is at this point in time, but is Payton Rae. Payton, thanks a lot for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Payton, let's get right into the interview here because I know there's a lot of people that are tuned in right now to listen, and we're really pleased to have you. You began singing when you were only 4 years old. How did you get involved into singing?
I feel like singing has always been heavy on my heart, especially because I did come from a family that was really into music. Not like they were musically inclined, but like we always had country music playing in the car, in the house, and I just grew up listening to music, so it's always been a huge part of my life.
At the same age, when you were 4 years old, you performed the national anthem at the now-defunct WNBA franchise, the Houston Comets. And in an interview with We Know the DJ, it alleges that this was your most memorable performance to date. Is that still true? And if so, what makes that performance so special to you?
That performance was definitely like the most memorable thing ever because being 4 years old and being able to perform in front of thousands and thousands of people was truly amazing. And I still remember standing in front of all those people just in the center of the arena, and it was the best feeling ever.
At 4 years old, I mean, how nervous were you going into that performance?
I was super nervous, but being so young, you really didn't know what nervous was. I just kind of got out there and I did my thing, and I'm just truly grateful for it.
This year, you were part of the Campbell-fied tour put on by Sean Campbell. What was that experience like for you?
Campbell-fied was amazing because this war on the road for a couple weeks at a time. And being on the road and being able to perform for kids, especially because my fan base is a lot of kids, is amazing. And I just love being able to hang out with new people and meet new people all around the world.
Now you're also named as a spokesman for Alice Paris. Can you give me a little bit about sort of how that came about?
Alice Paris?
Yes.
They actually found me on YouTube, and I think that's truly amazing. And I think YouTube has done a lot of things for me because it's a great way to put yourself out there. And they came to me and asked me if I would wear some of their dresses. And fashion has always been something that I've been really interested in. So it fit me really well, and I think it's an honor for me to be able to do it.
Now, you released your 5-song EP, Dare to Live, back in May of 2011. What can listeners that have never heard you expect on that album?
It's really, let's see, what's the word? Uplifting. I think it has a lot of uplifting things in it, and the headlining song is Dare to Live, and it's really just telling you to go out there and do your thing and never give up no matter what. There's no dream too big to achieve.
What inspires you to write music, Payton?
Writing music has always been, well, not always, but I mean, ever since I started writing in Nashville, it's been amazing for me to just sit in a room and be able to put your feelings out there and see just your feelings become a song is the coolest thing I've ever been able to do. And it's cool to be able to put your feelings into your own song and be able to sing it for others to relate to.
What were some of the challenges, I guess, in coming up with the album, Dare to Live? And I mean, how did you overcome those challenges?
Putting together an album is hard because you want to have the best songs you can, and you want to have goals for it. And the next music I'm going to be doing is I'm really going to focus on having music that's going to relate to not just kids, but to older groups of people. And I just want my music to inspire people around the world, and I think that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I want to inspire people and I want to be a positive role model.
Is there an area of your career that you, whether it is songwriting or just performing, that you feel you could improve on?
Well, honestly, I think that no matter how big you are, how long you've been in the industry, I feel like there's always room to improve. There's no way you're ever going to be the best. I think you can have room for improvement no matter what.
Okay, sorry there, Payton. Talk a little bit about your band, and how important is it to just find country artists as a country musician? How important is it to find the right band members and the right other artists to blend with what you're trying to do as a musician?
It's very important, especially with me being 17. You really want to find those people that you can be yourself around, that you can interact with on stage and that understand where you're coming from your standpoint of music, and you really want to be with people who want the best for you and who want the best in your career. So I think it's really important to find people that you can relate to and you're compatible with.
How did you find the band members that you currently have? What was that process like?
It was a process, and we did go through many people to find people that really fit, and we're still trying to find people to this day just to find the best we can find. And I mean, everyone I've been with has been a blessing. They're so talented, and I mean, Nashville is the place to find musicians. You can walk down the street and you see a guitar player, but it's so amazing to see how talented everyone is.
You're going to be performing at the 2 is Better Than One Holiday Benefit Project with 3 Union, and that's a project which will benefit 3 charities: the Shepherd Community Center, Houston Children's Charity, which is your hometown, and the Morrow Carroll Junior Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt in Nashville there. Talk a bit about your involvement with the project, how you got involved in it, and what it means to you to be involved in this project.
Actually, there's a song with a band called 3 Union. They're a Christian band, and all we were really planning to do was record a cover and put it on YouTube. But I remember I was on a plane one day, and I was just thinking, and I was like, there has to be something we can do to give back, because I think giving back is a huge part of the industry, and it's a huge part of my life, because I want to help other people, and that's a huge part of my heart, and I want to be a blessing to other people and be a light in their darkness. So I think that what we're doing, me and 3 Union, is awesome, and I'm so grateful that my fans have been able to have some help with that and donate money and just give everything they possibly can to the charity, and I'm so excited that we're going to be able to help some people this Christmas.
What's it like to be asked to get involved in such a charitable organization, and what's that feeling like to you when you hear that from organizations that just want to reach out and have you part of what they're doing?
It's awesome. I would love, if I could work with thousands of charities, I would love to do it, because, like I said, I love helping people, and I love to be a blessing to other people, and just being able to help is truly amazing, and I want to help in any way I can, in every way I can, so I think it's really important.
You're also very big on speaking out against bullying and cyberbullying as well, and you're also an ambassador for Stop Out Bullying.
Yes.
Were you ever bullied yourself?
I was, and that's why Stop Out Bullying is so close to my heart, because I was bullied when I was in junior high, and it wasn't just for my looks or anything, it was for something bigger than that. It was for my faith, and I'm really big in my faith, and it's so important to me, and to be bullied for something so harsh like that and so big on my heart was pretty hard for me, but I got through it, and I had family and friends that helped me get through it, and it's a big blessing, and I hope that I can just help people who are getting bullied to know that they're wanted wherever they go, and that they have so much going for them in their life.
Payton, I want to spin off on that question just briefly. We have a question on Twitter from Kirsten. What advice would you give to somebody who is really insecure as a result of bullying?
You know, if you are insecure about bullying, you know what? People are always going to try and bring you down, no matter what. You can be Justin Bieber, or you can be just someone normal in school. They will try and bring you down, no matter what. Like, words hurt, but I'm telling you that you're beautiful on the inside and out, and you have so much going for you. So keep your head up and just keep moving on, and surround yourself with people who really want the best for you.
All right. And I want to ask you another question that we got off of Twitter, and this is from Meredith _H23. Who is the most inspiring person you've ever met?
The most inspiring person I've ever met. Let's see. That's hard. I've met a lot of amazing people, but I've recently met was a new artist named Hunter Hayes, and he was so amazing to me because he was so humble and so grateful for all his success so early in his career, and he will never be that person to ever look down on his fans or anything. He's so appreciative, and I think that's amazing to find someone like that in the industry.
Payton, I wanted to, it's Nicholas here, I wanted to get back just a little bit on the bullying topic there, because lately it has been a big deal in the news, and it's been made public by, a lot of musicians in the past, and I wanted to talk to you a bit about being bullied yourself. How did you overcome what was happening to you, and I guess, how did you deal with it as a young adult going through high school?
I dealt with it by talking about it, and some people feel like if they talk about it, they're telling on people or whatnot, but I think the most important thing you can do is talk to people about it, whether it's your family, whether it's your friends, and my family was really supportive. They actually put me in a private school, and I did really well there, and it all turns out for the best if you truly believe in yourself and believe that you're wanted in the world and believe that you have a lot going for you in life, so that's kind of how I got over it.
What was the hardest part about being bullied? And I know it sounds like a really strange question, but what was the hardest part about it?
I think the hardest part about it was not being accepted for who you truly were, because I always want to be accepted, and I'm always the kind of person that if I'm not liked, I feel like I did something wrong, but truly in this world you can't please everyone, and I think that's the hardest thing for me to know, because I want to help people and I want to be there for everyone and show people that I'm there for them, but you can't please everyone, and that's something that everyone's going to have to accept.
I want to switch topics a little bit, and we're going to take a question off of Twitter, and we're going to lead into your presence on social media. So from Tiny Little Lauren, I want to ask you, how do you get so much attention on Twitter?
I wish I knew how it got as big as it did, and I'm truly blessed that it has reached the amount of Twitter followers and fans that I do have. And, I've worked at it for years, and I've put music on YouTube, and I interact with them, and I think that's really important, is that you interact with your fans as much as you possibly can, and to be able to talk to them every single day and feel like I'm best friends with them is truly amazing.
Payton, it's Nicholas here. Getting a little bit onto your social media there, I've noticed that on Facebook and on Twitter, you have a ridiculous amount of street team pages and fan pages from not only just various United States, but countries and provinces in Canada. What is it like to have so much support and so many fans from so many different places?
It's crazy. It's actually, sometimes it feels like it's not real, but it's the best feeling in the world to know that there's people all around the world in different countries that I've never even heard of, and it really is the coolest thing ever, and I think it's awesome that I'm able to connect with thousands of people just over one tweet. So it's really cool how social media has grown over the years.
And the reason, of course, why we ask is because we're jealous. That it's the two of us who listen to the show, and that's about it. So we're just trying to steal a page out of your book.
Oh no!
That's okay, Payton. There's lots of people. There's lots of people listening in right now because of you.
So shout out to all you lovely people who are listening to Radio Nation.
Payton, 2 years ago, you met a fan named Taylor who was diagnosed with cancer. How did you find out about Taylor, and what was it like meeting this person?
I met Taylor through Twitter. She actually tweeted me one day, and I heard about her story. And after I heard about her story, it really touched my heart. And to see how strong she was through it all, and to know that she was fighting a battle that I thought that no kid ever deserved to fight. And she did lose the battle, but she fought through it as hard as she could, and she never had a smile off her face. So she's really been an inspiration to me over the past couple years.
Give me a sense of what that emotion was like for you when you first met her. I mean, what was going through your head?
When I first what?
When you first met her, I mean, give me a sense of what your emotion was like and what was going through your mind at that time.
The first time I met her was an awesome feeling, because talking to someone on Twitter is so different than meeting them in person. It's so cool to put a face with a name. But I did meet her in the hospital, and it makes you appreciate life so much more to see that there's someone that doesn't get to do all the amazing things that we get to do in life. And she has made me appreciate life that much more, and she really just inspired me to keep dreaming big and to just keep going on. And she wanted the best for me, and I wanted the best for her. And it was a blessing that I was able to meet her.
Expanding on that to the larger audience, what would be your message? What would be the point you want to try to get across to fans of yours who are struggling with an illness right now?
If you're struggling with an illness, this is hard for me to answer because I've never had to go through something like this. But just keep fighting no matter what, because your life is so valuable, and live each day to the best of your ability, because life is short, so live it to the fullest every day you can.
Payton, we're going to ask you some sort of fun questions here. We're taking some off of Twitter as well. What is one really interesting fact about yourself that many of your fans don't know about you?
An interesting fact about me would be that I'm obsessed with pickle juice. I could literally drink it from a water bottle.
How did you discover that obsession?
How did I discover what?
How did you find out that you're obsessed with pickle juice?
Well, I grew up eating pickles all the time because my brother played baseball, and every time we're out the field, I'd always eat pickles. And I don't know how I really got onto drinking pickle juice, but it's a problem now.
That's really awesome, actually. What is your favorite Disney movie?
Probably Cinderella.
What's your favorite movie, just in general?
Blind Side. I don't know if y'all have ever seen that, but it's
Terrific movie.
awesome.
I'll admit I haven't seen that movie.
It is a terrific movie. I've seen it, Peyton. It's really inspiring.
We're going to take one off of Twitter. This is from Beeb's Generation. What is your favorite type of cake?
My favorite type of cake, vanilla, for sure.
Here's another question off of Twitter, and it comes from Maddie B, and she says, how did you overcome shyness and the fear of being judged?
You know what? I still haven't overcome that, and I am very shy in front of new people. But you know what? Be yourself around new people, and just be nice, and always extend peace, and just be there for people, and don't ever say mean things, and that's probably what I would say.
A question from Laura. What do you have planned for 2013? Touring, singles? What's on the schedule for the next 12 months?
Oh my gosh, we have so much in the works right now. New music. I'm working with Elise Paris, of course, and we're planning some stuff behind that, and just a lot. So 2013 will be a very good year.
Peyton, you're from Houston, Texas. Are you a big sports fan?
Oh yes, Houston Texans all the way, for sure. NFL football.
Right on. Happy with your season so far this year?
Oh yeah, I think we're what are we, 11-1, 12-1, something like that. We're doing really well.
Indeed. Give me a description of what's your favorite childhood memory growing up. Do you have a particular one that you really remember?
Well, of course, my favorite one, hands down, is when I sang the national anthem in front of thousands and thousands of people. So that's probably one that I'll always remember the rest of my life. So that's the most important one.
Peyton, if there was one place that you could perform in the world, where would it be?
Brazil.
Where in Brazil?
I actually have a pretty big fan base there, so I would love to go there.
Is there a particular place in Brazil that you'd like to go?
I don't know. I'll have to search all that. But I know Brazil for sure. It seems like such a cool place.
Where is one place that you have performed that you have really enjoyed?
Let's see. That's hard. I performed at a place in Orlando, Florida that was really cool. And I don't get to go to Florida a lot, so Florida was really nice. But I've performed at a lot of places in several different states, and it's always cool to discover some different places.
Another question off of Twitter, and I know I'm going to pronounce this incorrectly, so if you're listening in, I apologize, but from Kid Draw, I'm guessing? What is your favorite sport?
Volleyball. I used to play that before I sang. I played it for about 7 years.
Do you still play at all, like just pickup games?
I don't really play much. I'm always on the road to Nashville or traveling,
Well, you got to be able
Sorry,
to.
my
Yeah,
heart's really in singing.
you should try to find time for that. You know, you can't work all the time. All work and no play makes it something, whatever, how that saying goes.
I know.
Payton, you mentioned in this interview that you're generally a shy person, and you know, you're not typically outgoing, but you have a lot of fans, and you're one of the rising YouTube singers, and you're just every day it seems like you're growing. How do you deal with all that attention? How do you deal with all the media attention and just all the attention in general?
It is overwhelming, but it's overwhelming in the best way possible. I'm so happy about it all, and even though some attention is bad attention, meaning that there's haters out there, I just think of haters as my motivators, and that they're just escalating me to a new level, so I thank them for that. But having that much attention, I think you really need to stay grounded and be humble about it, and just be really appreciative.
Just adding on to that there, then, was there a moment or a period of time where you sort of knew like something special was happening? You're getting a lot of attention on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, and when that moment happened, did you have to sort of adjust your lifestyle?
Definitely the first trip I took to Nashville, it was definitely a life changer. I'd never been to Nashville before, and I came here and got to see Music City and got to come into meetings, and it was just the best experience ever. And after that day, I actually was taken out of school, and I've been homeschooled ever since. So it's been a huge adjustment, but it's probably the best thing that could ever happen to me.
Question off of Twitter from Steffi Lynn. Have you had one fan that stuck out to you in a positive way this past year?
This past year, let's see. Well, this past year, I think the number one fan that has really stuck out to me is definitely Taylor, because she has given me something that no one else has been able to give me, and she's just shown me such an amazing thing in life, and I thank her for that so much.
Payton, now that you're rising in popularity, and you've got, like we mentioned earlier, you have tons of fans. Has your personal life changed a lot at all? Have you had to sort of do certain things where maybe you can't always do the things you used to do when you maybe weren't as popular?
It has changed. It's changed a lot. When I'm home for maybe a week, and sometimes it's just 2 or 3 days. So I miss out on a lot. I miss out on school experiences like homecoming and prom and football games and basketball games and just things like that. But I think it's the coolest thing ever. But I don't know. I mean, I love doing what I do. So being able to have this experience overrides not being able to do all those things.
Payton, what is your favorite color?
Favorite color is pink.
Is there a particular reason?
No, I think my mom owned a children's boutique when I was little, so she's dressed me up in pink ever since I was a little girl, so I've just kind of grown up in pink.
Payton, we got a question off of Twitter here, and I've seen this on some Twitter accounts. What is a DTL leader, for those that have no idea what that is?
A DTL leader is just like a leader, and we have like a group on Facebook, and I'm always in there talking to them as much as I can. And it's cool because we have like 100 leaders right now, and we really stay active with them, and they're like my most important, well, not most important, but like my biggest supporters who will do anything for me. If we were on there at midnight and asked them to do something, they would do it right then and there. Like, they're amazing, and I just want to thank them so much for all their hard work and all their love and support.
Can you just tell us what does the DTL stand for?
DTL stands for Dare to Live, which is actually my title track on my last EP.
Very cool. I spent quite a bit of time trying to figure out what that meant.
Yeah. Yes, it means Dare to Live.
I thought it maybe was like designated team leader, or I have no idea. But that's really clever. I like that.
That's a pretty good guess.
Question from Jordan. Do you ever plan on coming out to California?
Oh, I do. I love coming to California. I actually go there quite a bit to LA, but I hope to do a show there sometime.
Payton, here's a question off of Twitter as well. Actually, Andrew already asked that one.
Yeah, that was the one I just did.
Payton, what inspires you? That's off of Twitter as well, actually.
What inspires me or who?
What inspires you?
I think all of country music really inspires me. Any kind of music, just to see people rising to stardom and being humble about it, and I think that really inspires me because it makes me want to make a difference with my music and my talent.
Payton, we've talked. We've gone through a lot of questions here. You mentioned, it's mentioned in an interview that you really admire Carrie Underwood for just the way she conducts herself, the way she, her classiness, and is there anything else about Carrie Underwood that you just really admire about her?
Is there anything else about Carrie that I admire?
Yes.
Of course, I admire her voice, but other than that, I totally admire her fashion. So I'm always keeping up with her fashion because I'm totally into that. But especially of how humble she is and how grateful she is for all of her success.
What advice would you give to somebody who's an aspiring country musician and is looking, maybe they're 13, 14, they're sort of getting their foot in the door and they're trying to figure out the whole thing. What advice would you give them?
I would just say, no matter what, you're going to have way more no's than you ever will have yes. But never give up because someone tells you no, because I'm telling you, when you get that one yes, it's going to turn your whole world around, and you're gonna go far. So keep pushing, and no dream's ever too big.
What was that one yes for you?
The one yes for me so far was being accepted into a management deal, and they're the best management deal I could have ever asked for. It's like a family, and I'm so grateful that I have them.
What is that like to be to have a management team support you? I mean, what sort of things do they do that? What sort of background work do they do that maybe takes some pressure off of you?
Oh my gosh, they do so much. I mean, they set up my meetings, they set up meetings, they get songwriters together, they literally do everything you possibly can for an artist.
Fair enough. That sounds like a pretty good deal. So then does that now gives you more time to just sort of focus on what you like to do most, which is just songwrite and sing?
Yes, it does. It takes a big load off of me, so me and my family are all thankful for that.
Do you get to travel back much to Houston to see your family?
I do. My mom always travels with me, but my brother and my dad are always home, usually, because my dad works and my brother's in college. But we stay at my Houston house at least 1 week out of the month, but mostly 2 weeks. And so I do have a lot of time to spend with family, but so it's good.
How supportive has your family been throughout this whole process?
They've been the most supportive of anyone. They've always been the type of parents that want the best for their kids, and they'll do anything for me to see me have my dream come true. So it's awesome to have a family who's very supportive.
Payton, how do people that, and this might sound kind of like a strange question, but how do people that have never heard of you before get a hold of you on Facebook and Twitter and all that fun stuff?
You can, all my Facebook and my Twitter and my website, it's all under Payton Rae Music. So if you want to check me out, you can check me out there.
Do you have a preferred method of social media? Like, do you like Twittering the most, or you like Facebooking the most? Which is your favorite?
Twitter, for sure. I'm very active on there.
A question from, I'm going to assume that his name is Hunter, off of Twitter. Not including us. If you could thank someone, if you had 30 seconds to thank someone for support that they've shown you, just being an awesome person, who would it be?
For doing what?
Being supportive, just someone that you could thank. If you had, we're going to turn the show over to you for 30 seconds and you can thank whoever you'd like, who would it be and why?
I would say my grandma, because she has supported me since I was literally 4 years old from my first audition, and she's everywhere she could possibly go to support me, and she's always my number one fan.
What is it like to read all the tweets that people tweet you and all the Facebook messages and all the comments on YouTube and hear that people look up to you and they admire you, and you're only 17, and they admire you, and they view you as a big role model. What is that feeling like?
It's a feeling I can't even describe, because one of my main dreams is to be an inspiration to people all around the world, and to be the best role model I possibly can, because I think in the industry, especially being so young, I think young people really do need a positive influence.
And that was going to be my question: is what kind of pressure are you put on being a young woman in the music industry and being a role model to so many younger girls? What sort of pressure does that put you under as a musician and as a person?
Being in the industry and having people look at you all the time, it is pressuring, but it's not something that I have to act out. It's not something that I have to constantly think about, thinking that I'm going to mess up, because I have always had, or always wanted to be a positive influence. So it's not like it's an act that I have to put on. It's just me. So I think that's really important.
This is a question off of Twitter, and it's from Deanna, and she asks, who is your role model?
My role model is Carrie Underwood, just because I watched her ever since American Idol, and just like I said, she stayed humble through it all.
Good answer. She's a pretty classy lady indeed. Payton, has things changed? Like, we talked a little bit about it earlier, but have things changed because you are so popular? I'm trying to think of a way to phrase this that makes sense for all the listeners out there, but do you have to be careful of everything that you do? Do you have to sort of watch who you're with and just sort of avoid situations that, maybe people of 17 might not have to think about as much because they're not in the position that you are?
Of course. Yes, for sure. Being 17 and being in high school is a very hard age, I have to say, because that's the time when people are really trying to figure out who they are, and partying is a big thing in high school, and I stay far, far away from that, because for me, it's not going to do any good for me, because you can get into a lot of trouble and be around things that I shouldn't be around. So I stay far away from that, and I really focus on friends and family in my career.
Payton, are you do you like pets?
I love pets. I actually have 4 dogs, so they keep me entertained.
What are the names?
What are the names?
Yeah.
Mia, Maggie, Polly, and Bella.
That's awesome.
What kind of dogs are they?
One's a mix that we saved from the pound. One's a golden retriever. One's a Pomeranian, and one's a Chihuahua.
That's awesome.
That is a pretty cool mix of dogs. Now, how did you get the one from the...
I know.
How did you get the one from the pound? Did you just sort of show up and you're looking for a puppy or a dog, or?
Actually, one of our dogs had passed away because of cancer, and after that, I really wanted another one. And I was like, well, I think we should really go save one from the pound. So we saw one, and first time we laid our eyes on it, we were like, okay, we want that one. So.
I want to ask you, and it's an adaptation off of a question off of Twitter. The question is if you could go back in time, but I want to ask you if you could go back and experience any moment in time. So any event, any day, if you could experience any one event, what would it be?
That's hard. Oh my gosh. I don't really know. I don't think I have something that I would want to go back and do, because I don't regret anything. I feel like everything's happened for a reason, and I'm perfectly happy with it all.
Well, not necessarily.
So I don't have an answer for that right now.
Well, not necessarily like redo, but if you could witness any event in time, what would it be?
If I could what? I'm sorry.
Like witness an event in time. Like if you could go back to see something happening.
Let's see. I'll probably want to go back to my freshman year, like my first homecoming. I didn't really get to experience that too much, so that'd be fun to go back and experience.
Payton, if you could meet anybody, dead or alive, who would it be?
I could meet anyone dead or alive. Yeah, I keep saying your name over and over again, but she is my idol, and I would die to meet Carrie Underwood. So definitely Carrie Underwood. She's my all-time idol.
You're in Nashville. I'm not sure if you're there actually right now, but give me a perspective of what's the Nashville scene like from your perspective?
Oh my gosh, Nashville is music city to the max. You go anywhere, any restaurant, and there's something musically going on. So I think that's awesome. If you love music, you would love Nashville.
Is there a venue in Nashville that you'd like to perform at?
I've performed at a place called Rocketown many times, and that's been an awesome venue. That's one of my favorites.
What's the coolest thing about being a 17-year-old country musician on the rise?
The coolest thing I think would be to travel and meet new people. I love meeting new people. Love meeting fans. So that's probably my favorite part.
When you perform on whether it's just at a coffee shop or at a venue, what's your preparation like? Is there certain things that are you superstitious? Do you do certain things? Do you eat certain things?
I usually run through my songs several times, but the funny thing is, and I freak everyone out before my shows, is because I always forget the lyrics, and they're like, "Hey, you're gonna forget it when you're on stage." And I'm like, I always say, "No, I'm not. I promise you, it happens every single time." I always forget the lyrics, but when I'm on stage, it's okay.
Here's another question from Twitter, and we got a little bit more time here, so we're going to take a couple more. This is a good question, actually. I can't believe I didn't think of this one. Is who's your favorite actor or actress?
Oh my gosh, I really like Taylor Lautner. So I think he's my favorite from Twilight, of course. King Jacob.
Here's another question off of Twitter, and this is a little bit of an adaptation to it. But who is your favorite male country artist right now?
I would have to say Chris Young. He's always been my favorite for a while now, and he's truly amazing. I love his voice. I love all his music.
So you're trapped on a desert island, and you can take 3 things with you. 3 things that you can't live without. 3 things that you have to have for the rest of your life. What are those 3 things?
I would have to say my phone, my computer. What's the last thing? This is hard. And a friend or a family member.
Fair enough.
This comes off of Twitter as well, Payton, and this is from Erica, and it is, where do you see yourself in a year from now?
I would hope to be touring and performing and meeting all my fans. That's what I hope, but I really don't know what the future holds, so I'm just playing it each day by day.
What does the immediate sort of future hold? I know we talked a bit about your charity work and the work with 3 Union. What does the little immediate future hold beyond that event?
What does what? I'm sorry, you're kind of breaking out.
I was just going to ask you, what does the sort of immediate future hold for you after your event with 3 Union? What are you up to after that?
After that, like, what am I going to do with my music?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, that's where I was trying to go with that question.
We're working on a new album right now, and I've been writing a ton of music, and we're going to start recording in January, so I'm super excited about that.
When it comes to your writing style, describe it a bit for those who don't know it, and I mean, what sort of things do you, what is there moments where you got a song lyric in your head and you can't really stop to write it down, you've got to stop somewhere. Do those things happen to you?
Oh my gosh, all the time. I'm always writing stuff down. If I hear someone say something that's really creative, I'll pull my phone out and write it down. But my writing is more country pop, and of course, being a 17-year-old girl, it's mostly about relationships, whether it's love or whether it's burning the guy for breaking up with you or for breaking your heart. So that's basically my writing style.
If you're just joining us on Twitter, we're live with Payton Rae, Houston, Texas, country singer, rising in popularity every day. I've been following her on Twitter for the past year, and I've watched her Twitter numbers and her career grow, and it's been a lot of fun. So, if you got any more questions for us, we got a little bit more time here with Payton, so we can take them. If you're listening, you can follow us on Twitter at @radio_nation, and we'll take some more of your questions. Of course, we'll only take the most appropriate ones. All right, Payton. What is one thing that you've always wanted to do? Like, so maybe if it's skydiving, something. Is there one thing that you on your bucket list that you really want to do?
Yes. It's kind of funny, but I've always wanted to do a bowling alley.
That sounds
That's
pretty
actually
cool.
really cool.
Yeah, like, I think it would be totally awesome.
Have you gone to a bowling alley and just thought, if only I could just do that?
I know, because sometimes, like, I slip on it, and it's so, like, slippery, and I eat it, and I'm like, geez, if I could just, like, slide down it like a slip and slide, I'd go flying. I think it'd be super fun.
That I actually witnessed that happen to a friend of mine. She'd fallen down a flight of stairs and she hurt her back a few months ago. So she had recuperated and she was all fine and everything. So we went bowling. She wiped right out and she re-injured her back and now she can't work. So
Oh, no, that's horrible.
she would have been going back to work like the next week. So we went bowling to essentially celebrate and she wiped right out and she hurt her back again.
Oh, my gosh, that's so bad.
So just be careful when you slide down a bowling alley. Please don't hurt your back.
Yes.
There's a lot of people that want to see you perform, so don't injure yourself.
Okay, I will not. I'll keep that in mind.
What is your favorite TV show?
My favorite TV show right now is Vampire Diaries. Hands down, I'm obsessed with it.
Are you big into cars?
Do what?
Are you big into cars?
Not really, but I do know some cards, I guess.
Where I was going with that question is, do you have a favorite car?
Oh my gosh, well, my dream car is the Mercedes box. It looks like a little toaster, but I love it.
Would it be in pink?
Yes, of course.
Fair enough. All right, we're going to take a couple more quick questions here. If you could, this is a variation from this question, and I guess it's probably similar to the musician one that I asked, but if you could meet a celebrity that isn't a musician, who would it be?
It isn't a musician. Oh, snap. I would probably want to meet the cast from Pretty Little Liars.
It's a half-decent show. I watched it a couple of times. Nick has no idea what we're talking about, but
No, I know.
it's a
I'm
TV
just
show.
I'm reading.
They carry it on Much Music in Canada.
I wanted to ask Payton some more questions off Twitter, and this is beside from your moment performing at the national anthem. What is another really memorable moment in your career?
A really memorable moment. Let's see. That's hard. I remember I had one show on a Tampa Pie tour. It was in South Carolina. I'm pretty sure it was in South Carolina. It was hundreds and hundreds of kids, and these kids were the loudest I've ever had, and they were probably one of the best crowds I've ever performed for, and they, made me, I don't know, I fed off their energy, and it was probably the best show I've ever played.
What does your iPod or your MP3 playlist look like?
Bunch of files.
It's pretty much all country music. I may have a little bit of some pop, hardly any, but yeah, most country music for sure.
When you get in the car and you put in a CD or you put in your iPod or whatever, what's the first song that you want to play?
We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together by Taylor Swift.
Good choice. That's a good song. I like that song. All right, we're taking a couple more quick questions here for Payton Rae, and we're going to talk to me, Payton, about your songs. You've got quite a few of them, and talk about your EP. We talked about it earlier in the program, but just talk to me about your songs and how you came about them and just all that great stuff about your music.
Well, some of the new songs that I've been writing, I'm totally dying to record because they have come straight from me, and they're songs that I've written. I haven't written a lot on my EP. I've written one song, but the rest were just songs that were pitched for me. But seeing that I'm writing so much and that I'm writing a lot of this music on my new one is really awesome because it's coming straight from me, and I think that's pretty cool to get just the artist's perspective on what they like to see in their music.
You mentioned a little earlier on in the interview that your favorite food was pickles. What is, specifically pickle juice? What is your least favorite food?
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know if I have a least favorite food, but something that I could not stand to even look at, or if it's by me, I freak out, is ketchup.
Really?
And why?
I don't know. I wish I knew why, but I don't know if I was terrorized as a kid with it, or if it reminds me of blood or something, but I can't, I cannot do it. I can't even be by it. It grosses me out.
Peyton, talk to me a bit about the song "Not Your Cinderella." How did you come up with this song?
I actually didn't write this one. It was pitched to me, but I'm so thankful it was. It's a very kid-friendly, not just kid-friendly, but such a relatable song, and it's really done well, especially on YouTube and on CMT. So I'm thankful for that.
What's it like to sort of turn on the TV or to open a book or open a magazine, or I guess, see some publicity in some really reputable media sources to do with you? What is it like to be like, wow, there's my name in some really, really serious magazines and media outlets?
It's a crazy feeling. I remember last Christmas we were all sitting around opening gifts, and we had GAC on, and all of a sudden, you see my face pop up on the TV, and my Christmas song came on. So that made my Christmas. It was awesome.
We've had this question come up to us a couple of times on Twitter now. It's been tweeted a couple of times, so just for the sheer sake of repetition, I'm hoping this question means a little more to you than it does to me. I don't really understand it, but I'm going to try to ask it. This comes from Monica. If you had to pick between Hunter Hayes or Luke Bryan to meet, which one of them would it be?
Well, I've already met Hunter Hayes, so I'd have to say Luke Bryan.
Fair enough.
Peyton, what is your favorite brand of makeup?
My favorite brand of makeup is I love Urban Decay.
And
Which you boys probably don't know about, but that's okay.
Yeah,
I use that makeup all the time. It makes you look so pretty. Oh my god.
Okay, I was just making sure.
Yeah, no, we're really into the makeup scene. Don't worry.
We are totally in touch with our feminine side.
That was not a question off of Twitter. that was my own question right there. All right, Peyton, is there anything else you want to add to this interview before we let you go tonight? We've had you on for quite some time. I'm sure you're probably tired of us grilling you to death with crazy questions.
Oh, no. Something I just want to say is my fans are my world, and they're my leading way to where I'm going to, so I just want to thank them for all the love and support that they've given me for years now. It really means a lot.
Well, Peyton, we want to thank you for coming on Radio Nation. It's been a lot of fun, and you did a great job. We asked you a lot of questions, a lot more than the list that I sent your management, so good job for answering all of them. You did a very good job.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
And on the flip side of that, I want to thank everybody who's listening in right now and who's been tweeting us at radio_nation. Thanks for all your questions tonight, guys. A lot of them were very interesting. They were very funny, and we got a lot of really cool responses out of you, Peyton.
Thank you so much.
Peyton, you're welcome back anytime.
Okay, thank you.
And there you have it. That is a Payton Rae from Houston, Texas. And that was a good interview. That was a lot of fun. I kind of felt bad because we really got a lot of questions out of her.
Oh, sorry. There we go.
go.
Helps if the microphone is on.
Yeah.
No, that was a lot of fun.
That was fun. That was a solid interview. She did a good job.
It wasn't a weak interview. It wasn't a liquid interview. It was
No,
definitely
it
solid.
wasn't. I definitely I'm gonna have to pick up that brand of makeup she mentioned. I'm
yeah.
gonna have to write it down or something.
Yeah, because we were totally we totally heard that brand.
Yeah, no, definitely key there. They should definitely give us some money for that, or maybe they should sponsor Peyton.
Absolutely.
Or us. Maybe they could sponsor us.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool too. So once again, folks, everybody that's listening to Radio Nation right now, we want to thank you all for tweeting us your questions, for supporting us as we interviewed Payton Rae. She was an absolute doll. She's amazing. Love to have you back.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's a catch to that. Don't only tweet at radio_nation. You can follow the staff as well. Nick?
Mine is NPESCOD, and that's on for Twitter.
Mine
Andrew?
is at Eldest Tulip. It's all one word. It's a really funny story that goes along with that, but it's ELDESTTULIP.
Now, if you want to check out the rest of the staff, you go to www.radionation.ca/staff.html. It's really important you got to put the .html in there because apparently if you don't, it doesn't work. I don't know why. I'm not a big coding guy, but I don't know why. So we should be able to play a bit of Payton Rae's music now that we spent about an hour and a half talking about her for so much. We should probably play some of her music, eh?
And seeing as now we know what DTL stands for,
yes, let's play that song.
let's play Dare to Live.
Excellent.
So this is Dare to Live by Payton Rae. You can follow her on Twitter at Payton Rae Music. Follow the show at radio_nation, and you can email us at contact@radionation.ca.